Welcome back. Thank you for staying with Kenya's fastest growing television. And as earlier publicized and promised, we are making sense of the numbers in as far as the budget 2025-2026 is concerned. And who best to break down those numbers and explain to us what John Mbadi presented today to Parliament than our panel tonight. CPA Benedict Omolo is a member of the ICPAK. Davis Tayo is the Managing Partner, Africa Social Financing Center. Nicholas Cairo is the Associate Director, Tax and Legal Services. Raphael Maruri is a Certified Public Accountant. Gentlemen, thank you very much for making time for us. On a night we are exclusively talking about money and where it's coming from. Let me quickly get what your initial thoughts are in as far as the proposed 2025-2026 budget is concerned. We can start with you, Nicholas.
Thanks, Abu Bakar. If you look at the finance bill, especially that was shared earlier on, from a revenue perspective, we have seen the government has changed tact. Right now, we are not seeing any introduction of new taxes or hike in tax rates. However, on the flip side, what the government has done just to ensure this revenue mobilization, they have gone ahead and rationalized the tax expenditure. In this case, reducing or limiting the tax incentives available to the public or to the taxpayers.
Davis.
Thank you for having me. Listening to Mbadi, I actually couldn't help but remember the manifesto of UDA. And I'm seeing a government that is so keen to implement what it promised. The whole budget speech was inundated with reference to better. And I think it's a good thing for the country because we're seeing politicians really struggling to translate their promises into government policy and government action papers.
And better, that is in reference to the bottom-up economic transformation that the president used as a tool to campaign.
Certainly.
Let me get your thoughts equally, Benedict Omolo.
Thank you very much. I think the beginning point for me would be to ask the extent to which we are keen to manage our deficit. Of course, it has gone down by about 11 or so billion, but even then, could the Budget and Appropriations Committee have been bolder in their recommendations, where then they would address the deficit and also looked at some of the expenditure items to reprioritize them? What I also felt was a gap, or I did not hear it come out very clearly. There has been the remittances by the diaspora is now about 4% of our GDP. It has the greatest revenue of Forex compared to our traditional foreign exchange earners. So the question is, what did he do to incentivize our diaspora, whether it is investment schemes or whatever else he would have been able to do for them? I hope at least they get registered for voting. And finally, is that I did not hear very clearly the fifth pillar or the fourth pillar on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda on the digital superhighway. I think they avoided that. Our youth are pretty engaged on the digital space, but I didn't hear him come out very clearly on the digital superhighway and what the government is going to do for the young people on that score.
Raphael, equally, let me get your thoughts in as far as the assessment of the 2025-2026 budget is concerned.
When I listened to the CS, one of the things that came to my mind is the obvious supplementary budgets that keep on coming on. So the question that came to my mind was, is this budget going to be followed, or we are going to have several supplementary budgets that makes what he gave us today null and void? So we need to know, and I thought measures should be put in place so that we don't get a supplementary budget after a supplementary budget, because whatever is presented today then becomes just something else. So my thought process is that we should get measures. I think the registry should put up laws that put up on the supplementary budget. The other thing that comes to mind is the whole statement by the CS was on broadening the tax base. This is something we've heard day in, day out, but I didn't hear him talking about how he's going to strengthen the tax base. I think our tax administration has relatively been lazy, just focusing on the payee and the employed people. knowing that we operate a very Jua Kali economy in this country of ours.
Fair enough. We are getting the